So
It's the best. We're going to bring in Shaun King after a quick word here from FanDuel. You guys have heard us talk about FanDuel a lot. It is America's #1 sportsbook. And we all have something a little different for you guys on FanDuel right now. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then with the YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime you want. Just visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to download America's #1 sportsbook. And with that, we are thrilled to welcome in Shaun King, his second week on the show, to help us break down and understand a little bit about Deshaun Watson's performance against the Jags on a more enlightened level. What's up, Shaun?
We need your mic. Hit your mic.
No, we're getting audio. You got to turn it on, Ant.
Oh,
It's on our bad.
Shaun,
it's our bad,
end.
Shaun.
You're good. Hold on. We got a new director today. Ant's never live cut. Now try,
you hear
Shaun.
me?
Yeah,
There
we
he
go. It
is.
was on us. It was on us, not you.
Hey.
That's us.
Hey, man, look, I ain't happy. I'm supposed to be on at 9 o'clock. It's 9:08. Listen, I'm finna play the angry analyst. John Fan, I want to be the angry fan. Don't ever bring me on after him again. He got a whole damn bottle of hair gel in his hair, and put him on a word count next time. Good God almighty. I'm over here all by myself trying to answer talk. Y'all ain't got my mic on, man. Get your stuff together. Mike Lucas.
Shaun, we're a mess. We're a mess. I'm sorry for everybody. I apologize for all of us.
I
here
don't. I did it on purpose, Shaun.
at UCSS. Hey, Shaun, you know what was not a mess was the Browns on Sunday, as opposed to the previous week against the Dallas Cowboys, which we talked about last week quite a bit, and you were you kept it real, right, on Cleveland. So this past weekend, things turned around a little bit. I mean, it wasn't the best performance. They only scored one touchdown. But overall, they won the game, which is, at the end of the day, all that matters. What was your overall thoughts on the game?
First of all, good to see you, Dustin. Good to see you, G. Bush.
Good to
My
see
guy,
you.
Jay Crawford. Always great having an opportunity to chat with you guys. I like to put context, because we're going to do this weekly. And so when I come on, I'm going to evaluate Deshaun Watson, but I'm also going to act like I'm his coach. I was very fortunate enough at University of South Florida to coach Quentin Flowers to the American Athletic Conference Player of the Year. I recruited and coached Chris Oladokin, who's the backup to Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City, and Ray McLeod's brother, Jordan McLeod, who's a starting quarterback at Texas State right now. And we believed in one thing: the truth does not have emotions. It's just the truth. So when I evaluate Deshaun from week to week, and we're going to operate on one platform, and that's truth, right? So I'm going to give him a solid C+ for the performance. And here's why. It's the best performance I've seen with him at quarterback of the Cleveland Browns, but it's still an isolated scenario. If we can get this consistently, then I think because of the level of defense plays at, because of the special teams, Cleveland's got a chance to be really successful.
It's funny. I gave him a C+ too, but I'm interested in your thoughts on where we go from here, because John Fanta was just on. He made a statement. I agree with it. 186 is mid. I mean, we can't have that week in and week out. And I know we've got a great defense, but there's going to come a time we play Kansas City. We've got some tough games on our schedule down the road where 18 points won't even be close to enough. So where is your bar for him? Because everybody, when we came here, it was like he's going to win a Super Bowl. Now some people are saying, hey, 186, man, that can get it done. It can't.
Well, first of all, what we can't do, because this is the smartest football show in the country, not just because Jay Crawford's on it. It's hard to win a damn game.
It's because Shaun King's on it.
Hey, Dustin will tell you, it's hard to win a game in the National Football League. Go ask the Bengals and the Ravens. Go ask the whole damn AFC South outside of Houston. There are no easy Sundays. If you don't show up with your A game, you have a high chance of losing. This was complimentary football. I think what you saw, and I think Phantom mentioned it in the previous segment, you saw a team that looked like this should have been their week one performance. For some reason, and this is a whole nother topic, but the NFL chooses not to utilize the 3 preseason games to get in rhythm and get ready for the start of the season. I think the Browns are better in every area. As far as Deshaun Watson and his production, look around the league. Hell, everybody look like they're throwing with the opposite hand right now. Passing yards are down. Touchdown passes are down. It's a hard league right now. The defensive line is as athletic as they've ever been. And I'm going to say one thing, and people got to stop talking about Deshaun Watson's contract. When you look at what Tua and Trevor Lawrence and all these guys just sound for, on average, he's actually got a bargain deal because he's more talented than Tua. He's more talented than Trevor Lawrence. He's more talented than a lot of these guys that just got paid. He's got to put consistent performance on the field. I think Jacksonville was a huge step in the right direction.
Shaun, I'm looking at it, and when you take a look at what he did, and I love the fact that you brought up that you've been coaching the quarterback position, and so you're into the psyche, the directives that you're giving in certain games. I look at it because I like the game that he played against Jacksonville, because you take a look at that game. It's rainy. Your defense is playing lights out. You want to play complementary football. You take a look at that 100 yards and penalty yards. So if you got that going on, then you have to win the turnover battle, and you cannot turn the football over, and you have to play good special teams. I thought throw for throw, I thought he was more accurate than the first week. And if you're a quarterback coach talking to Deshaun Watson, what are you telling him in this game specifically that he needs to do to win this football game in the way he played?
I thought his composure was much better than in week one. I thought his energy was much better than week one. I thought his decision-making overall was improved. As you mentioned, the most drastic improvement was ball location. And you think, guys, he did this playing 10 versus 11. Because if anybody has seen Mari Cooper, please tell him the season has started. Because he is not joining the Browns as of the first 2 weeks. And nobody's talking about that. So I think I can build upon Deshaun's performance. He did some things that are special from a pocket mobility standpoint that other guys can't do. And so when you start to rank the quarterbacks in the National Football League, the first thing you have to do is who has the talent to be elite. Deshaun has that talent. I thought he showcased it at times. The thing that I was most impressed with, everything he did was in rhythm. It looked like he had a great understanding of what Jacksonville was doing versus them defensively. He was getting the ball out on time. He was accurate with his decisions. As you mentioned, throwing the ball when it's raining is not easy. I'm telling you, being a productive quarterback when your number one wide receiver is absentee, it's not easy. Being the number one quarterback when the running game, it was better, but it still wasn't Nick Chubb level. So there are some things around him that have to get better. But this was the first time I thought Deshaun looked like he was fully in control of what the game plan was.
Shaun, one thing really jumped out at me in game one, and it was jumped out in game two, and there wasn't any improvement. I could practically hear Clyde Christensen and Tony Dungy screaming at your offense back in the day when you were with the Buccaneers about how important third down is. You win on third down. The Browns were 2 of 15 against the Cowboys on third down. They were 2 of 14 against Jacksonville on third down. What are you seeing on third down that has this team constantly punting the football away?
Well, third down, you break into third and short, third and medium, third and long.
Right.
So third and short, their issue is right now they aren't controlling the line of scrimmage. So you can, in third and 2 or less, just automatically turn around, hand the ball off, and guarantee you're going to get it. That's the first and most easily fixable part of third and short. Third and long, the penalties. They had a couple penalties in crucial situations that put them in unmanageable third down. So if you put those two things in context, in reality, it probably wasn't as bad as 2 and 14. I know that's what the numbers are, and as Bill Parcells said, you are what the numbers say you are. But they got to get a little more creative, in my opinion, in third and medium, which is third and 4 to 6. I think you got to have a better mixture of screen game, of play action pass, of intermediate pass game, and be willing to take some shots. The one thing that is missing right now from the passing game is more of an aggressive approach. And maybe that was the weather. Maybe it's the fact that they don't really have elite top-end speeded receiver. Maybe it's the fact that Njoku wasn't available. But as we're moving forward and we're figuring out how it can grow, I think that's some of the ways that you can fix third down.
Yeah, that pass chart tells the story. The blue is the line of scrimmage. Look at all of the – if we can go back to that, I'm sorry, Ant. Look at all of the passes that were thrown behind the line of scrimmage. And even when he was looking downfield, only twice did he throw the I hope I'm wrong here, but I can't help but question, because we haven't seen it, his arm. He's coming off the surgery. They say he's 100%. His one throw downfield was nowhere near being accurate enough. And until I see him go downfield with some consistency, I still have questions about the arm.
Dustin will tell you this. I don't think it's an arm thing. I think they lack explosiveness at receiver. If you're covering Amari Cooper, you're not really worried about Amari Cooper running by you.
True.
Like,
Jerry
they don't
Jeudy
really
can,
use
though.
Jerry Jeudy. Yeah, but they don't really use him in the vertical passing game. I know he had the play action corner ball that he completed. I think it was the fourth quarter when that happened. But who's the explosive down the field guy?
No.
Like in that chart you put up, Jay, every defense they're going to play is looking at that chart. And those corners are going to get tighter and tighter. They're going to say, you know what, we can sit on the short to intermediate passing game. And so it falls on Ken Dorsey and John Fanta's stepbrother, Kevin Stefanski, I mean,
Got him.
Y'all didn't know he was a mole for Stefanski. I mean, come on, man. Not only keep Stefanski's job in Cleveland, but get him another one if he loses this one.
He's not wrong, though, Sean.
Oh, y'all crazy.
I mean, the guy's been two times NFL Coach of the Year in 4 seasons. If he did decide he wanted to leave Cleveland, or Cleveland decided they were done with him, there would be a line for him.
I don't know about that one, Jay, but hey, that's an argument for another day.
Wow, that's a hot take.
I mean, outside of Cleveland, he's called Kevin Too Fancy. It's not Stefanski.
I didn't know
it's
that.
not his
Kevin
last name.
Too Fancy.
He's called Kevin Too Fancy. Yeah, it gives drawing up. He got his little.
I've never heard that. I kind of like it.
Plays.
It
Yeah,
does kind of work.
But again, it comes down to the play caller to be more aggressive, like call some double move shots, but also be methodical in how you attack teams. I'm going to break down some stuff visually, and sorry that we can't put the film on because there's some interesting things I wanted to show. I've been an OC before. I was an OC in IMG when J.J. McCarthy was my quarterback. And what I would tell him is, I'll be as aggressive as you allow me to be.
Oh, wow.
Meaning that when I call an explosive play, if it's not there, you got to find me a completion. I'll have built-in components, whether it's the back chipping out the backfield, whether it's a tight end coming on a shallow cross. I've got to be able to trust you when I call a deep shot, not to just automatically throw it if it's not open. So maybe it's a trust issue, but it's something they have to develop. You have to scare teams vertically in this league.
Sean, I'm going to try to stall for a little time here because I want to just give you, we just had that passing chart by Deshaun Watson, and we talk about all the underneath passes and nothing over the line of scrimmage. But what I was able to do, I knew it was coming. I saw it coming a mile away. So what I did is I had some pre-prep ready to go. And what I wanted to present to you is Exhibit B. I got it. Patrick Mahomes. I just happened to find his chart. It was laying around the internet. And if you compare the two charts, I'd say that I like Deshaun Watson's chart better than I even like Patrick Mahomes' chart. And one of the things that you're getting to around the league is the way teams are playing people deep and the way teams are keeping too high safeties. The trend is I'm throwing a lot of quick stuff. I want to. Oh, there we go. Look at that. 18 to 25. And I don't see any connections deep. As a matter of fact, those plays over 20 yards, those were his interceptions. If you look at him in the red dot.
He wasn't great, man.
Yeah, I mean, he threw for $150.
Hey, but no one would question whether or not he has arm strength. He just didn't play well that day.
Real quick, the 145-yard touchdown pass is the little blue.
So is she right?
Yeah, that was a
long ball.
So if you look at it, my statement is look at all those green dots within a line of scrimmage. That is a symptom of what's going on league wide. I'm watching guys throw for 150, 175, 180. Now look, Patrick Mahomes has a track record of success, and I'm not going to dare say that he doesn't get the benefit of the doubt. He can have 10 games in a row, and he's still going to be more confident than what we are in Deshaun Watson. However, I will say that this seems to be a little something more than meets the eye when it comes to how teams are playing in short routes and passes.
So let me say this. Here's one of the things I always taught quarterbacks. And never forget this, and it's going to be very applicable to Patrick Mahomes. You never go broke taking a profit. You never go broke taking a profit. The difference in these two passing charts is Andy Reid calls a very aggressive passing game. So even though Patrick is doing a good job of not forcing the ball into coverage, he's doing a great job of finding a completion. So a lot of these completions are on aggressive downfield play calls. They're trying to get the ball deep to Xavier Worthy. They're trying to get the ball deep to Rasheed Rice. So the illusion, the threat is there. This is just Patrick being great at finding Kelsey, finding Pacheco, finding some of those secondary options underneath so that the drives continue to move forward. And so when I'm talking to Deshaun, and I was talking about Ken Dorsey and Stephen Stefanski and the trust level, I'll be as aggressive as you allow me to be. Remember me saying that?
Yeah.
That's what I mean by this. That offense has to get to a point where they can call 12 aggressive vertical throws, and if only one of them's there, he finds completion on 10 of the other 11.
Yeah,
and
you
so I'm
take what
glad
they
you
give
brought
you.
it up because that's great context. Never go broke taking a profit. That's where Mahomes is great at.
Wish I took that advice on FanDuel. Cash out options.
Did you blow your profit?
Hey, Dustin.
Yeah.
Hey, Dustin, unit size, baby. Unit size. If you bet straight bets, you don't have any cash out options. Don't be no sucker. Parlays are for suckers, man.
Yeah, this guy.
Well,
He
Sean,
knows this guy right here.
you're looking at a sucker right here.
Yeah. Just pick the winner, man. Pick the winner.
Hey, listen, I worked at a company called Visa for a couple years.
Yeah, I remember
It's a
that.
sports betting platform owned by the Musburgers. Listen, sports gambling is a slow grind, man. If anybody's going to give you a $10 wager that brings back $1 million, you're probably not going to hit that often. It's better to bet 10 and win 8 and just keep building it.
Yeah.
It works. You're not going broke, taking a profit.
Yeah.
So, Sean, I want to talk a
It
little
looks
bit more
good,
about
though.
what, before
It
we let
looks
you go. G. Bush brought this up. We talked about it on Monday about how the league has changed. Everything seems upside down. Derek Carr and Baker Mayfield are slaying it, and Deshaun Watson and even Mahomes are, they're not putting up their typical numbers. A lot of that has to do with these split safeties that are back. I think this is kind of a reaction to the league going so in on offense. Think back to that game between the Bills and the Chiefs when it was like a pinball machine. I think the league has pivoted now, and we're going to see more defense. I think touchdown passes through week 1 and 2 are down almost half from just 4 years ago. What are your general trends in the league that you're seeing, and how do you combat that too high safety look?
Well, I think the first thing that people have to understand, the reason that the NFL is king is because of parity. The NFL is the only professional league where legitimately every year all 32 teams, fan bases can have hope. And if you don't believe me, look at the Texans 2 years ago and look at the Texans last year.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just saying, and it's not a surprise. I mean, look at the Saints. I know it's only 2 weeks in. Like, you just never know from year to year, like, which organization is going to get it right. The thing that nobody's talking about is G. Bush and his boys. I mean, the defensive line talent in the National Football League is as elite across the board as it's ever been.
Yeah.
Everybody's got elite pass rushers. Everybody's got 280-plus guys that can change direction. They're running sub-4.6 40s. Like, and when those guys are rushing what's a very mediocre pool of quarterbacks, and because we're in Cleveland, hey, listen, sometimes you leave your wife and your second wife is worse. Trust me, Deshaun Watson is more talented than 80% of the quarterbacks in this league. Now, I know you guys want consistency from a health standpoint and production standpoint. Well, listen, don't leave this marriage to go to one that's worse.
Hey, is the marriage between Daniel Jones and the Giants and Dable and that whole thing, is that a bad marriage?
Listen, man, have you guys seen Hard Knocks?
Yeah. I thought Dable came off well, actually.
Absolutely, but what's the GM's name?
Joe Shane.
Joe Sheehan, yeah.
Joe Shane. Joe Shane is in his office before the draft, and he's talking to his son. And he asks his son to rank the quarterbacks. And his son tells him, take Jaden Daniels, Dad, because you only get one shot at this thing, and we got to try and win. That's the greatest line in the history of Hard Knocks. The wisdom of a child. And Joe Shine is in the office with the owner and Daboll talking about Daniel Jones doesn't have protection. Daniel Jones is not good now. He wasn't good last year. He wasn't good at Duke. So they paid a bum, and they're getting exactly the results they deserve. They paid Daniel Jones off a year where he threw 15 touchdown passes, guys.
I know.
The year the Giants went to the playoffs, he threw 15 touchdown passes. They gave him $100 million guaranteed damn dollars. Yeah, I'm upset. Yeah, I'm mad because I'm too old. I got these grades. If I was about a decade younger, man, I'd be filthy rich.
Yeah, you know what? You and your buddy Warren Sapp, because back in the day, defensive linemen were paid well. But to your point, if you look at the amount of resources in dollars that NFL teams now commit to the defensive line compared to where it was in the 90s and even the 2000s when Warren was doing his thing with you in Tampa, they are higher priority now. They're getting paid, and they're changing the game. They're absolutely changing the game. You're 100% right.
100%. Well, before I go, Jay, in the fourth quarter of this game, it was 1:37 left.
Yeah.
Probably the worst moment of the game for everybody attached to the Browns offense.
Yep.
Terrible call by Ken Dorsey, or if John Fanta's right, Stefanski was calling the plays on the first drive when everything went well, but all the mistakes that were made with Dorsey. Fanta, you got reality need to set in over there, buddy. We got to start a segment that we got to make go national, and it's called Don't Will Levis. I'm going to diagram it like this. And Deshaun almost went full Will Levis. For some reason, they call a play action to the left for a right-handed quarterback in a crucial situation. It's an 18-13 game, guys. And I'm telling you, when you go watch that play, Deshaun run the ball, fall down, throw the ball away.
Yes.
But don't double pump 3 times. That ball was so close to being a fumble. Can you imagine how the narrative would be different if that had been a fumble and they scored a la Will
They would have
Levis
run him out of town.
Sean, why didn't they just run the ball? If they were going to have him roll out left, why didn't they just run the ball and take a knee?
But, Sean,
Hey,
you
man.
know as well as anybody, okay, if you call a stupid play, and it was a stupid play call there,
Stupid.
and not just because it didn't work. If it worked, it still would have been stupid. You're not going to do that there. But, Sean, every quarterback from the 7th grade on, maybe except Will Levis, and I love the way Callahan called Will Levis out, by the way. He made a dumb play, just like he did in week 1, and it cost us the game. But, Sean, you know this. The one thing you can't do there, well, there's several things. You can't fumble, you can't throw an interception, but you can't stop the clock. And I don't understand why Deshaun didn't just tuck it and go down and take 35 more seconds off the clock, 40 more seconds off.
Can't coach awareness, can you, Sean?
Hey, man, in the words of Forrest Gump, stupid is as stupid does.
A little preview. Sean and I, in about an hour, are going to hop on a...
You're right.
Sean, in about an hour, you and I are going to hop on a stream and break down some of those plays with the film, including the one you just mentioned. And I know people are very excited at that, so post that on social media is coming up later today.
Very good.
Sean, we appreciate you. Terrific insight as always, and can't wait to see if you could do all this without video. Wait till you see what kind of Shaun King breakdowns you get
be awesome.
with the film coming up on social media later today.
Dustin, G. Bush, Jay Crawford, till next week, fellas.